I don't want her in my unit. The sharp words bounced off the secure walls of the Naval Special Warfare Command briefing room as Commander Clint Harlan glared at the personnel file placed on his desk. Petty Officer First Class Brooklyn Reed, 26, piercing blue eyes, blonde hair tied neatly in a regulation bun, and a sniper qualification score that shattered every Navy SEAL record ever set. But Harlan, with 15 years leading elite operators, had never seen a female sniper placed inside a SEAL platoon. When intel confirmed a high-value terrorist leader was preparing a massive strike that could claim thousands of innocent lives, Harlan's team was ordered deep into hostile ground to remove the threat. What he didn't realize was that the mission would collapse in chaos, trapping 12 of America's finest under brutal fire with no escape and no support. In that desperate hour, Brooklyn Reed would prove that the deadliest tool in war isn't always advanced gear or overwhelming firepower. It can be the sniper everyone dismissed, delivering 8 flawless shots that saved 12 lives and rewrote the story. Petty Officer Reed had been battling to earn her place among the SEALs since the day she qualified for sniper school 2 years earlier. At just 26, with eyes sharp enough to spot a target over 1,200 meters and hands steady enough to never miss under pressure, she had aced every drill and test the Navy demanded. Yet training wins weren't the same as being accepted by the operators who decided if she'd ever step into live combat. Anderson reporting, Master Chief Marcus Doyle, she said formally as she entered the Havenport Command Center. You're assigned to SEAL Team 3 for a classified high-priority op. Commander Harlan will brief you. The look Clint Harlan gave her was immediate and unsurprising, first at her, then the file, with the expression of a man questioning the judgment of whoever signed off this assignment. Master Chief, Harlan said evenly, I asked for the top sniper available. Are you sure this is the right candidate? Doyle, a 23-year veteran who had endured more battles than most could picture, held Harlan's stare without flinching. Commander, Petty Officer Reed holds the highest sniper qualification marks in SEAL history. Her advanced training results have been unmatched. She's exactly what you asked for. Harlan re-examined the file. Expert across multiple weapons, 98% accuracy beyond 1,000 meters, perfect stress-fire scores, advanced tactical schooling, and psychological reviews marking her as outstanding under pressure. But still, no deployments with a SEAL unit, no trials in real firefights, and no record of surviving missions where national security rode on every decision. Reed, Harlan said at last, what's your combat experience? Brooklyn had braced for the question, but hearing it still cut deep. Sir, I've completed exhaustive simulated combat training, advanced stress marksmanship courses, and every phase of SEAL sniper school with top marks, Brooklyn said. I'm qualified for any mission you assign. Harlan cut in, that's not what I meant. Combat experience, live rounds, people shooting back, life or death moments where one slip kills a teammate. Brooklyn held his gaze steady. None, sir. Every sniper takes their first real mission at some point. I'm ready for mine. Clint glanced to Master Chief Marcus Doyle, who gave a slight, confirming nod. The tasking had come from high enough that pushing back would be career suicide. All right, Reed, here's the picture, Harlan said. Intelligence has identified a high-value terrorist organizer plotting coordinated strikes that could kill thousands of civilians. The target is deeply defended, holed up in a fortified compound in hostile territory and ringed by security forces that rule out a conventional assault. Harlan brought up a secure satellite feed showing a mountainous zone and a large compound sited on terrain that favors defenders. The target is Khalid Rahman, a planner building coordination protocols for simultaneous attacks on civilian infrastructure across several countries. Intel estimates the compound houses roughly 40 armed fighters with advanced weapons and comms gear. Brooklyn examined the imagery closely. The compound sat on high ground with clear lines of sight in every direction. Any ordinary attack force would be seen long before it could reach effective range. What's the mission profile, sir? She asked. Infiltrate and eliminate, Harlan replied. A 12-man SEAL element will insert under cover of night, close on the compound using stealth, and take out the target along with his communications and operational capability. Your role will be overwatch and precision fires if the assault team runs into resistance. Harlan paused, then added, Reed, this is not a training exercise. If we run into enemy fighters, if insertion fails, if plans break down, you'll be making split-second calls that affect 12 lives and the success of a mission that could stop mass casualty attacks. Brooklyn had rehearsed scenarios like this countless times, but she understood the real question: could she move from hitting targets on a range to taking human lives to defend her teammates? Sir, I understand the responsibility, she said. I'll do whatever the mission requires. Harlan watched her for a long moment, then nodded. Briefing at 0600 tomorrow. Deployment in 72 hours. Reed, you'll be issued an M40A6 with match-grade ammo, and you'll provide precision support from a concealed position roughly 800 meters from the compound. Understood, sir. One more thing, in the field there are no do-overs, no instructors to reset the scenario if it goes bad. The 11 men on this team will be counting on you to be flawless when it matters. Are you absolutely sure you can take that responsibility? Brooklyn thought of the hundreds of hours on the range, the endless tactical drills, and the knowledge that somewhere a plot could cost innocent lives. Sir, I'm not just ready. I'm the best sniper available for this mission. When the time comes, I'll give the team exactly what it needs. Harlan's face stayed unreadable, but Master Chief Marcus Doyle allowed the smallest smile. Good answer, Reed. Don't let us down. 3 days later Brooklyn Reed jammed into an MH-60 Seahawk slicing through the night toward a landing zone 12 kilometers from the target compound, the SEAL team around her sitting in absolute silence as each operator ran the plan in his head while checking gear and weapons. Brooklyn wore full combat kit, body armor, night vision, comms, survival gear, and carried the M40A6 that would be her primary weapon for the op, fitted with advanced optics and zeroed for the expected conditions. Commander Clint Harlan, acting as team lead, keyed his radio for a final brief as they neared the LZ. Gentlemen, and Reed, this is it. Insert in 10. Route Bravo in, establish overwatch, eliminate the target. Intel confirms Khalid Rahman is in the compound with roughly 40 fighters and advanced comms gear. Harlan traced a spot on the tactical map. Reed, you'll take overwatch here, he said, indicating a position about 800 meters out with clean fields of fire over the main approaches. You'll provide precision support if the assault meets resistance and neutralize any threats that could compromise the primary assault. Brooklyn acknowledged, Roger, sir, overwatch set, precision support ready, priority targets identified. As the chopper closed, the familiar knot of focus and anticipation tightened. This was the thing she trained toward through 2 years of sniper school and countless prep hours, but when the aircraft hit the ground and the team prepared to disembark, no one could have guessed how far the mission would stray from the plan. The landing zone intel called secure had been compromised. The moment the SEALs left the helicopter, muzzle flashes erupted from hidden positions around the LZ. The terrorists had detected the insertion and sprung an ambush that turned a routine landing into immediate contact. 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 LZ is hot. Harlan's voice crackled as the team hit cover and returned fire. Brooklyn rolled out with her rifle and began sweeping the area through her scope, seeing flashes from at least 6 locations, far more shooters than Intel had suggested. Reed, can you ID positions? Came Sullivan's voice in her ear. Affirmative. 6 positions, 2 to 400 meters out. Engaging now. She lined up a target directing fire from behind a rock at 340 meters, breath steady, crosshairs settled, and squeezed the trigger. The round was clean, the fighter dropped and one of the threats pinning the team vanished. Good shot, Reed. Continue engaging targets of opportunity, Harlan ordered as he coordinated the response. Methodically, Brooklyn began cutting down enemy positions while the SEALs maneuvered out of the ambush, her second round taking a machine gunner at 280 meters and her third knocking out an enemy sniper perched at 450 meters. But the ambush exposed a harsher truth: the enemy had far more fighters than Intel reported, were better equipped, and had anticipated the insertion. All call signs, this is Overwatch, the mission commander monitoring from a secure location transmitted. Intel now estimates the compound contains approximately 80 fighters, not 40. Mission parameters changed. You are authorized to abort and extract. Commander Harlan, who was directing the team's withdrawal from the Hot LZ, made the call that would set the operations course. Overwatch, negative on abort. Target is too important, and intel indicates attacks are scheduled for tomorrow. We're proceeding with alternate approaches. Brooklyn Reed kept up precision overwatch as the team slipped toward cover that gave them routes to the compound, but the ambush had cost them surprise and the enemy was actively hunting the American Special Ops element. Reed, we'll need continuous overwatch during the approach. Can you hold position and give us fire support while we maneuver? Harlan asked. Affirmative, sir. I've got visibility on likely enemy positions and can lay down precision fire throughout the approach, she replied. What followed was 3 hours of the toughest tactical movement Brooklyn had ever faced. The SEALs threaded through mountainous ground using advanced stealth while enemy patrols swept with night vision gear and coordinated search patterns. Moving parallel to the assault route, she shifted between concealment points and engaged threats that threatened to spot or cut off the team, her fourth round putting down a patrol leader at 520 meters, her fifth destroying comms gear that would have summoned reinforcements. By dawn the SEALs had crawled into observation positions overlooking the compound and set the plan for the final approach, but the situation had gone far worse than expected. The complex now held more than 80 fighters, layered defenses and electronics that made a straight-up assault deadly, and intel suggested Rahman knew forces were in the area and would try to leave within hours. We need to speed the timeline, Harlan said in the tactical conference. Rahman's planning to evac before noon, we have 4 hours or he's gone. Through her scope Brooklyn mapped guard rotations, defensive emplacements and approach corridors the team might use. Sir, I can neutralize key positions to open your route, but the compound is heavily defended and the assault will be exposed, she warned. Harlan nodded. The mission couldn't be aborted. Rahman's attacks were scheduled tonight and thousands could die if he wasn't stopped. 2 hours of detailed coordination followed to pick the best approach and time the assault so the SEALs could reach the target building before defenders reacted. Brooklyn's role was critical. Remove the strongest defensive positions and any shooters threatening the assault team so the SEALs could get inside and finish the job. At 10:00 hours the assault went live. The SEALs advanced using a mix of silence and aggression while Brooklyn watched from a concealed perch about 750 meters out with clear arcs over the entire assault lane. Her sixth shot took a sniper in a guard tower who'd picked up the team's approach at 680 meters, a wind-compensated kill that demanded careful calculation. Her seventh disabled a machine gun nest partly hidden behind barriers, a pinpoint shot through a narrow gap that would have otherwise shredded the assault element. As the SEALs breached and cleared rooms hunting Rahman, reinforcements began converging from multiple directions. Reed, enemy approaching from north and east, can you slow them? Harlan's voice crackled. Brooklyn shifted for better angles and watched about 20 fighters move in disciplined formations, a level of professionalism that spoke to formal training, then made the longest combat shot of her life. Her eighth round eliminated the leader of the northern thrust at 820 meters, accounting for wind drift, drop and target motion with surgical precision. Removing that leader broke the momentum of the reinforcements and bought the SEALs precious time. Target eliminated, Harlan reported. Rahman is down, destroying comms now. But as the team prepared to exfiltrate the compound the situation collapsed. Enemy forces had closed around the site while the SEALs were inside, sealing exits and establishing fields over every egress. More than 60 fighters now ringed the building, covering all possible routes out. Reed, we're surrounded. Pinned inside the compound. Need immediate fire support to cut an extraction lane, came the urgent call. Brooklyn assessed the battlefield through her scope, noting that enemy positions overlapped fields of fire and made any SEAL movement suicidal if they tried to push through exposed ground. The defenders had sown interlocking sectors that would catch anyone moving between cover, but from her perch 750 meters out Brooklyn could reach enemy emplacements the trapped SEALs couldn't touch. Sir, I can engage enemy positions to carve an extraction corridor, but I'll need tight coordination to prevent fratricide, she said. Reed, you're our only option, we're counting on you to get us out of here, came the blunt reply. What followed was 30 minutes of the most intense precision shooting the unit had seen. Brooklyn methodically took out machine gun emplacements, sniper nests, command nodes, and individual fighters to open gaps in the ring surrounding the compound. Every shot was calculated to achieve maximum effect while minimizing any risk to the Americans she was protecting. The enemy, who'd expected to crush the SEALs with sheer numbers, found themselves picked apart by a shooter they couldn't find or hit. As Brooklyn provided protective fires, the assault team fought toward the exits using the corridors she'd created. One by one the 12 men forced their way out and made rally points to move toward extraction, but their breakout alerted enemy units across the area and additional fighters began converging from multiple axes. Reed, multiple enemy groups moving on our location, Harlan's voice warned. About 40 more fighters approaching from 3 directions. We need continuous fire throughout the movement. Brooklyn had already been on target for more than an hour, but the mission wasn't done until every teammate was safe. She kept up overwatch and precision support as the team threaded terrain that offered scant concealment while hostile elements tried to cut them off. Her fire was flawless, each round neutralized a threat at the moment that best amplified the team's tactical advantage. Every shot she took had the single purpose of getting 12 American warriors home. When the SEALs finally reached the pickup zone and climbed into the extraction bird, Brooklyn had fired 37 rounds and scored 37 hits. More importantly, all 12 operators were alive, the mission had succeeded, and the planned terrorist attacks that would have killed thousands had been stopped. As the helicopter rose, Commander Clint Harlan approached her. "Reed, what you did out there was exceptional," he said. "You single-handedly created the fire support that let us finish the mission and extract. Without your precision, we lose the whole team." Brooklyn, exhausted from hours of white-hot focus and exacting fire, managed a weary smile. "Sir, that's what snipers do, we give precision support when the team needs it," she replied. Harlan shook his head. "No, Reed. That was beyond routine sniper work. You sustained precision fires under combat conditions that would have pushed the most seasoned operators. You made split-second tactical calls that saved a dozen lives and stopped attacks that would have killed thousands." Master Chief Marcus Doyle, who'd been watching the mission from the command center, was waiting on base when the team returned. "Reed, I've reviewed the footage and after-action reports. What you did was extraordinary," he said. "Commander Harlan has recommended you for the Bronze Star with Combat V, and I'm backing that." Brooklyn reflected on the training that had brought her here, the doubt she'd faced joining a SEAL element, and the knowledge that her precision shots had prevented catastrophic civilian deaths. "Master Chief, I had top-tier training, dependable kit, and teammates worth everything I could give them," she said. Doyle nodded. "That's the right take, but understand this. You didn't just prove you can perform as a SEAL sniper, you proved that the best operator for any mission is the one with the skills, judgment, and commitment to get the job done when it matters most." Commander Harlan, who had questioned her assignment at first, now approached with an expression of full respect and confidence. "Reed, I owe you an apology," he said. "I made assumptions about what you could handle based on my own biases rather than your record. What you did today is some of the finest precision shooting I've ever seen, regardless of experience. Thank you, and you've changed how I think about forming teams." Brooklyn had proven that excellence in special operations isn't about assumptions but about performance when lives hang by a thread. 3 weeks later she received permanent assignment to SEAL Team 3 as its primary sniper, with promotion to Chief Petty Officer and recognition as one of the Navy's finest marksmen. Lieutenant Michael Chen, whose life she'd saved during the extraction, spoke for all of them. "Chief Reed didn't just show that women can serve as SEAL snipers, she proved she's one of the best snipers we've ever worked with. Having her makes us more effective and more confident in finishing hard missions." Her success opened doors once closed to women in elite units. Within 6 months the Navy announced all special operations roles would be judged on proven capability instead of gender assumptions. Brooklyn became an instructor at the Advanced Sniper School, teaching precision techniques to operators across the services. Her combat operation became a case study on sniper support, decision-making, and sustained performance under fire. Yet her deepest impact was cultural. She changed how elite teams saw integration of women in combat roles. Arguments about strength, cohesion, or effectiveness ended with a record of flawless execution under pressure. Admiral Patricia Hayes, commander of Naval Special Warfare, said at her recognition ceremony, "Chief Reed didn't just excel as a SEAL sniper, she redefined excellence itself." Her record will shape how we select and train operators for decades. Her story became inspiration for future female operators who learned that barriers collapse under exceptional skill, that doubt evaporates when lives are saved, and that the only true answer to prejudice is undeniable competence. Years later, historians would mark her mission as a turning point, the moment questions about women in special ops were answered by 8 perfect shots that saved 12 lives. Commander Clint Harlan, once skeptical, realized the most dangerous sniper isn't chosen by assumption but by who can deliver precision when everything depends on it. Brooklyn Reed proved that when SEALs are trapped, the only thing that matters is the shooter who can put rounds exactly where they need to land to bring everyone home. The M40A6 was built for precision, and she was built to master it, opening the path for every qualified woman who would follow, proving competence transcends prejudice, excellence accepts no limits, and in life-or-death moments the best operator is simply the best operator. The influence of her mission rippled through the entire community. Within 18 months, applications from women to SEAL training rose by 280%, and dozens of female snipers began graduating across the services. The shift went deeper than numbers. Selection standards were redesigned, moving away from assumptions about raw strength toward real operational effectiveness. Training shifted to emphasize precision, tactical intelligence, and sustained performance under pressure. Master Chief Marcus Doyle, who had backed her assignment, was promoted to Senior Enlisted Advisor for Naval Special Warfare and tasked with new integration protocols, his Reed standards prioritizing proven capability over stereotypes. "Chief Reed showed us our assumptions were wrong," Doyle explained at a joint services conference. Gender, size, background, none of that predicted performance. What did was skill, judgment, and flawless execution when teammates' lives were at stake. The cultural change spread beyond the military. Her story became required study in leadership programs across government, illustrating how unconscious bias can block organizations from using their best talent. Commander Harlan, now one of her strongest advocates, was tapped to lead a new joint training facility where her sniper methods and tactical decision-making became core curriculum. At his change of command, he admitted, "When I first met Chief Reed, I saw limits that existed only in my own assumptions. She taught me the worst enemy isn't out there, it's the prejudice that blinds us to excellence." Brooklyn Reed proved that excellence breaks barriers, that competence has no gender, and that when lives hang in the balance, the only thing that matters is the ability to save them. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, subscribe to Captain Joe's Stories for more incredible missions like this.